Hi friends, we'll continue developing our application using Pandas DataFrame and Tkinter window. So this time user will select a file, a CSV or Excel file, and DataFrame will be created and will display all the columns along with the check buttons. So the user can select any of the column and create a list, or user can deselect the column and remove it from the list. This list will be displaying on our Tkinter window. We'll learn all about this. We'll run this code. So here it is. We'll start. Yeah, here it is. Let's execute this file. So here we'll get a window. Let me run it again. Yeah, here it is. Now from this we'll say browse file. Now in the browse file I will just pick up a student record. So student record I am opening. You can see all the columns of the student record are displayed here along with the check buttons. I can select any of the name columns, multiple columns I can, and you see the list is generated here. I can remove anything also, and accordingly the list changes. Now let me go to another file. So I will go inside this. This time it's a CSV file. There is no Excel file in this. So what I am doing is I am picking up a CSV file and picking up one more, this particular one. So here it is. You can see it has picked up all the column headers from the CSV file, and I am selecting the headers. Whatever headers I am selecting, these columns are dynamically selected, these names. So whatever I am picking up, those are included in the list. I can remove it also. I'd go for this too. So accordingly I can keep on changing. Browse whatever files I pick up, the columns will be displayed. We'll learn all about this. This is our starting code. We are starting from here with a blank Tkinter window. So first we are importing Tkinter, then pandas, then the file dialog, because we will be presenting user a dialog box to select the file. So here it is. The width is 650, 300, the width and height. You can change it whatever you want. Title, and for a higher size font we have used this. Now this is a button. We have placed it because user on select will be able to browse the local file system and select the file. Placed it on a grid here, then one label here, that where whatever the user has selected, that path will display it here. And second label is where it is below that, and this label will be using for our displaying whatever the user columns it has selected. So these two labels, one is for the path and second one is for the displaying the list of selected column headers. So this is the basic layout. Let's just run this and see once how it looks. So this is, sorry, I minimized it. Here it is. So you can see this is a button. There are two labels are there with a blank, so we can display our data there. We'll declare three variables here, so that we'll be using inside our functions. So my reference, this will hold, this is a dictionary, we are declaring it, and it will hold this will hold our all the references to the check buttons, whatever we will create based on our column names. So I equal to 1, this is what we are going to use the columns, one checkbox, right of it another next checkbox, so the column will value has to increase. That variable we are declaring. Then column search. This one will hold the finally what the user has selected. So this is what is most important for us, and this you can give any other name also. Now let's come to and select our function. So select file. So because this function main purpose is to browse and pick up the file what the user has CSV or Excel file, and accordingly then create the data frame. So here inside this we'll first say f types. This is a list actually of what are the file types we want to pick up. So the user has select. So for that it's inside the list we are giving a tuple. So here we are saying CSV files. So this is the label what will happen, and what should be the extension, comma. Now I am saying star dot CSV. This CSV is comma separated value file. It's a text file similar to a text file, but data are separated by commas. So now next one, other type is I will go for a Excel file. So Excel files. Now this is the label again, and what should be the extension is again star dot xlsx. If you want more file types you can pick up, then accordingly you have to handle it. So then you can add that. Now let's come back to the next line. So here file types I have given. Then the most important is file path. What should be the file path? Means this is what the variable where we will be storing the our whatever the user selects. File dialog, because this is what we have imported at the top. You can see line number 3, file dialog. Then the method what you are using is ask open file name. Yeah, so now we are given the file name. Now inside this we'll say file types equal to whatever the f types, whatever at the top we have declared it, that what we are entering it here. So these are the file types. And if you want default extension, what should be by default? It should be, so I am giving it here dot xlsx. So this is the default extension we are getting. Now what we'll do is like we'll move up a bit. Yeah. So this is at this stage the file dialog will open and user will select. It may happen that user may cancel the operation also. It may hit the cancel button. So that is why we'll say if file path that means user has selected, it's not none. So in this case lb1 dot config. Now what we are going to do is we are showing the text, because config or configure, we are lb1 is the label at the top. So it's a green color, the light green what you are given. That text option we are setting to the path. So for that we'll say file path. Now that will display the what the user has selected. It's optional, but anyway it's better what user has selected, we must show it. So that's all. Now the global variables we'll use. Global, now L1, I and myref. Myref already we have discussed, all this we have discussed at the beginning. So myref, these are all what global variables will take it. So L1 we have not used it here. Okay, let's see if we'll face problem. So if now what happened, because we have given two choice, CSV and Excel, both any one user can pick up. So we have to know what user has selected, because based on that we'll use the DataFrame function to create the DataFrame. So if file path ends with, means the last whatever the ends with dot CSV, that means the user has selected a CSV file. Sorry, not here, it should be here, then come back. Fine. So now that is, if that in that case, then the data frame whatever we are creating is PD, is the pandas what you have imported at the top at line number, import pandas line number 2. So PD, now here I am saying read CSV, because if it is a CSV file then I have to use this. So that's why I have checked the extension, then file path. Okay, now because two are there, why I will go for one more, I will just put a else condition here, else, because I know it's CSV or Excel. So df equal to, if it is not, then read Excel. These two are functions available in pandas, so it just created, and you can see our more details on this file path. Tutorials are already available. Now what happened next, what I am doing is these two are I have created up parallel to else. Now here L1 is the list of column headers. So I will say list df. Now I got a list of data frame headers or the list of column names. Now that I will get it. Now what I can do is, next is I will use the another function to create the thing, but to end it, let's just print the L1 value. So this is for our checking only. Before we move to the next step, so let's just save this and run once and see. Yeah, here it is. I am browse file. I am okay. This is CSV file. Whatever CSV file I am getting, it is here. Now let me just, I have selected one, so it should, yeah, here you can see at the left bottom all the column headers are printed because of this line number 32. We'll remove this line. So here it is removed. Now let's create one more function. Here we'll say my columns. So this is the one what will be displaying our check button. So this is where now let's come and declare our variables. Global, now all three variables will take it. You may not require all, but let's keep it my reference. Now in the next line, I equal to 1, we'll set it, because this is where we'll be displaying the column, because I will keep on increasing 1, 2, 3 like that, and one column it value it will increase. So it will be the next check button will be right of it. So then again, why will be initialized to again the one. Why we are doing like this is because we want the reference to be null. Every time we call it, it should be a fresh, it should be a blank. Otherwise, what will happen? One will overwrite the others. So we'll see example. We'll see that lb.config. Now what I am again doing is I am removing all the text from the previously. If anything is whatever the text is written, that I am removing. Again, config option. It is for the config. We can manage any of the options of the label, whatever you want. In fact, any widget we can manage it. So let me just come down here for w in my underscore w dot grid. Why I am doing this? Grid slaves, here it is. Why I am doing this is this is required grid slave 3, because it is the third row. All the rows I am removing it, because once suppose I will change the file to some other file, the previous whatever is displayed should be removed. So I am removing all those things. So for that purpose I am doing this. I am removing it. So where it is, yeah, w dot grid forget. So all the previous elements, even if I can comment this and see how it will overlap. So that is my idea. Now let's just take it one more for k in L1. L1 is the list of data frame headers, or this is what we have created here at this point, line number 31. That we are using it for k in L1. Now here I am looping through each one. Now here I am creating the inside this I am creating my check buttons. Let me move up a bit. Yeah, here it is. The entire source code you can download it. So now I am inside this. First my reference k, because it is the k value one by one I am taking. The first each one the k, I am assigning it k equal to tk dot, it's a boolean where. Why? Because it can hold true or false. My point here is each against each column what is true or false. If the user checked it, it is true. If it is not checked, then it is false. So that is the idea. That's why I am saying a boolean variable. It's true or false. Now ck equal to tk dot check button. Now this check button, my parent window, my underscore w. This is the key point where we are displaying the check button text. The text along with the side of the check button is nothing but the column header. So that is inside the loop for k in L1 at the line number 40. So we'll say display the. So this will display the name, column name. Then what will on value? Because it's a check button, so there will be on value and off value. On value equal to true. Then off value means when the check button is not checked, that means a false. So this is the one. Now font, slightly higher font we are using, font 1, because it is, we have declared it at the top, font 1, what it is, some I think 18 we have here it is, times 18 normal. So it is, or you can bold, italic, whatever style you want you can put it here. So slightly higher font we are using it here. Now the most important part is what will happen when the function button is clicked. So I am giving a command equal to lambda my update. What is my update? It's a function, it will call, but we have so far not declared it. So my update. Now variable means how the value will be hold, or where it will be holding the value, the check button, the status. So that is nothing but whatever my reference and under k. because k means that particular one. So this is will go means when I am changing the check button, this my reference, the k value or the list against that column value, true or false will be stored. Now let me just place it on the grid. So ck.grid. Now here it is, row equal to 3, third row. So I am using third row. It's upon your layout. So you want to some other row, some other date information you want to give insert in row 2, fine. It's row equal to 3. But note that column is equal to I, because that is why we have used I as that way. So pad x equal to 2. I am not flushing with the left edge. So slightly gap I am giving. From the top also 25. I am giving more gap here. So these are all you can adjust it. Now I equal to I plus 1. This is what. So next check button will be right of it. But here one thing is I equal to I plus 1. But let's just do one thing. Diff my update. This is the function. What will happen when the check button is clicked? And I am writing it pass. I will enter it. Before that, let us check how the check buttons are displayed. So hope this my column function is up to this point. Its job is only to display the check buttons. I am just saving this. Let's run and see how this. Okay, I am browse file. Let me pick up this. Open my. Okay. What mistake I have, what I have done is I am not calling this my column function. What happens? This is working up to this point, fine. The path is displayed here, whatever I have picked up the file. Now let me close it, come here, write it here. After this, my columns. Without this function won't be executed. So I am just calling it again, running. So browse file, now query rank, open. Yeah, you can see position. There is one more. I think there is. Let me just change this. Go up. Data file. Where is my Excel? I will select the Excel file. Student. Student I have selected. It's gender. So one only. What has happened here is I equal to I plus 1. Here I did a mistake. Here not 1, I have to use I, because that is how the increment should be. Now let's just run it once again. Browse file. Now let me pick up this student. Yeah, you can see ID, all the whatever the column headers are there, that displayed. I can select it, but now nothing will happen. Let me just change it. Let it go to here. Second one. Yeah, it removed the previous one, because we have the grid slave here at line number 39. This takes care of that, and it removes the previous ones and then display the fresh column headers. We'll write our code here inside my update. Note that this function is called each time we change the check buttons, means from checked to uncheck or unchecked to check. Whatever we do, this function will be called. Every time this function is called, we'll refresh our list. So this is what our final list will get it. So I am saying global my reference, because I must get the whatever the reference at line number 37. This is updated, whatever it is reference updated, because this my reference will hold the select all the values. It will, in fact, it will hold all the header names with the whether it is checked or unchecked, or it is true or false. So these two conditions. So for that, to get the data, here it is. I am just trying to create a one-liner here. Column search, because this is what is finally we had decided, we had declared at the top. Here it is, and we told we will be holding the values here at this point. So that I am using it here. Columns search is equal to, now here what that I am creating a list. V is the variable here. For V in my ref. But here I am condition, I am putting one if condition. If now my ref, that means it is actually looping through all and checking each and every value. V this dot get, because it's a boolean variable. So you know get and set for any string variable, boolean variable, or any other int variable also. To get the value, I have to use get method. So I am just reading if it is get, if it is true, that means this particular value will be true for each element one inside the loop b value will change, and it is checking one by one what's it's true or not, and accordingly it is storing it. If it is true, then it is storing the name is there. So that is, this one liner does everything. Now what I am going to do is, I will just, for our reference, I can print it, or before that, why to print it? Now for that exclusively we have a config. Now LB is the one at the below that one yellow strip was there, that is our second label. Whatever we have declared it at the top, you can see here LB1 where we have displayed the path. Second, one more label we have displayed where what the user has selected, the list will be displayed. So that config or configure also you can say, that option, text option, will use it and display the values. So here, because it's a list, so while displaying the values, what you will do, will use a join string command. So I am just saying this like the giving a space here, dot join. Now here I will say column search. Now what happened, the entire all the elements of the string will be joined with a space, one gap, or if you want a comma to be given, change it to a comma or whatever you want. So then that will be printed. Now let's just check it once. Here I am, browse file. Now the, let's say, query rank, open. Now what happens? Fine, up to this is displayed, but when I click this, self boolean get missing one regular is self. Okay, here we did a mistake here. I have to place, okay, not declared properly. Now let's just see again. Here I am running it, browse file. Okay, so open it. Now here all the headers I am selecting one by one. So this particular whenever I am clicking this is taken up and all the values are checked again, because values keeps on updating every time I am clicking that. So even I can remove also. Now I am removing. So this two only. Now let's just change the we'll come back here. Here I am, let's go to Excel file. I am picking up Excel file. Now so many are there, student. You can see that this is the path of it, and I am selecting 3. Then I can remove also anything. I'll remove this, add one more. So this list is generated. That's all, friends. I'll request you, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you'll be notified as and when we add new tutorials. We frequently do that also. And if you have any doubts, suggestions, questions or ideas, use the comment section below to post it. Please share this with your friends, and thank you for watching.